Okay, now we got things squared away. I do not know how to get rid of that music. I've gone through the menus to try to get rid of that music so I don't get hit with these copyright claims, but it is what it is. So I don't really put too much into what kind of views I get out of these GT7 streams anyway, given my mediocre stance on this game. So I think before we get into the quick subject real quick, let's go ahead and claim this roulette ticket for a laugh, because one thing I could definitely say about this game is that the roulette stuff is definitely a joke. Because all this thing gives you is either, a super small payout or give you parts for cars you don't have, in an effort to try to get you to buy the car just so you can use the part, which is a monetization scheme, which I do not care for. So, all right, let's have a laugh. Let's see what we got. A minivan? Are you serious? 10,000 credits. Okay. With that will probably get you one racing tire. What a joke. Yeah, the roulette stuff on this game is an absolute joke. One thing that about a month ago, I had got a 4-star roulette ticket. So I'm thinking to myself, at the very least, I should be able to get a car out of it. What I got was an invitation to a dealership to buy a car for $1 million. A 4-star ticket for invitation to buy a car, and it was not, and I don't think it was one of those rare cars where you can only, buy the car by way of invitation. It just steered me in that direction and say, buy this car for $1 million. What an absolute joke. Okay, so let's kind of get to the sort of the subject of this stream. I've been kind of wrestling with the thought of, when I have something to talk about relative to the games that I play, should I mention it in passing like I've done in the past while playing the game, or should I dedicate an entire podcast to the game? And in most cases, what I have to say usually only takes about 10 or 15 minutes. And if the stream goes on longer than that, then I'm just saying shit as filler, or the stream goes on because people actually have questions or comments, which is great. I mean, I absolutely love when things go that way, when viewers participate and have questions and, give their input. But I think the best way to do this is just to continue to do it in passing. Like today, I want to talk about whether GT7 should add more race cars to the game. And that's something that I don't think I need to do a separate podcast for. It's just something that I can mention in passing, say what I got to say about it, and then jump into the daily race. So there's a big update coming up for GT7. I wouldn't consider it a big update, but some people are treating it like a big update. There's going to be 7 new cars and a track. And then I guess whenever these type of updates happen, Polyphony Digital likes to tease people with these silhouettes. And, people then start making videos of guessing, giving their thoughts of what the cars are going to be. And so the cars coming up this week, we don't know what the track is, but I've seen a couple of videos where people are speculating what the cars are going to be. And one thing seems to be the general thought is that all these cars are road cars. And it doesn't seems to be any race cars in there. And one of the cars I think is cool that is going to be in there, but it's not a race car. It is the Porsche 992. GT3 RS, and this is the road car, the production car that you can buy from a dealership. Now, this car is a car that when Porsche built this car, it's the closest thing you can get to a GT3 car, but still be road legal. I mean, it has the giant wing. In fact, it even has a DRS system, which stands for drag reduction system, that you would see in Formula One cars. With the drag reduction system in Formula One car, basically a flap opens inside the wing and lets more air through, which allows the car to pick up a little more speed. And when they get into the DRS zone, along with the overtake button, it can allow Formula One cars to pass each other in quite a short stretch. I don't know what the need would be for a drag reduction system in a production car, because unless you take it to the track, you're really not going to get, I don't think you would get much use out of it unless you just like hitting the button and see that the wing open. But in any case, it's a production car. The GT3 race car would no doubt perform better than this car on the track. And so today on Twitter, the Key 25, he gave his thoughts, and he said that, why can't we get any race cars? It's all these updates seem to be road cars. And he got a little bit of pushback from people saying that, that a lot of the hardcore sim racers that race cars wouldn't use them anyway, because they have their minds made up which cars they like to drive, and they're pretty much going to stick with those cars. So they feel like it would be a waste. But, me on the outside looking in, I saw both sides of that coin. I think Key had a point that, why can't we get more race cars? And he was saying that, out of the 7 cars that we're going to get with this next update, why couldn't at least one of them be a race car? And I thought that was a pretty good point. And he felt like that wasn't too much to ask. And I really do think that's a good point. My answer to that is, I think that on one side, the pushback that he got was that, a lot of the hardcore sim racers would stick to the one car that they like to drive, and that's going to be it. So the adding race cars might be a waste. I would like to agree with that, which I think is a good point, but I think the biggest reason why they don't add many race cars to these updates is because this game, in my opinion, is not targeted towards the hardcore racers. I think it's targeted towards the casual audience that likes to collect cars, and I think that's the biggest reason why some of these microtransactions on this game is so egregious, and I think that is a plan. And people are calling this a free update. It is not free, because these cars are going to be cars that you're going to have to buy at the dealership. And I could almost bet you that Porsche 992 GT3 RS that I speak of, the road car, when you go to the Porsche dealership to buy this car, I'm guessing that this car is going to cost anywhere between 1 and 3 million credits. So I think it might cost you anywhere from $5 to $20 in real money to purchase, in-game credits in order to buy this car, because a lot of people may not feel like grinding to earn the credits to buy this car. Now, I've been guilty of it myself. There's been times where I just didn't feel like grinding because, for one, I don't play this game enough to try to grind out 3, 5, 10 million credits. So I think that's the biggest reason why they don't add race cars, because maybe the hardcore sim racers have got their minds made up which cars they're going to use, so they're probably likely not to sell too many of those cars by way of microtransactions. I think the target audience are the car collectors. But on another side of that coin, I think it's only so many race cars that they could add to this game, because a lot of the different car categories, different publishers hold the rights to that particular class of car. So, case in point, the Le Mans Ultimate game that's coming up. It should be out by the end of this year. It's supposed to come out in fourth quarter of 2023. We're already into the fourth quarter of 2023. So unless this game gets delayed, I expect us to get in a date on this game any day now. But in any case, this game comes to us from the same developers of R Factor 2, and R Factor 2 has the exclusive rights to like the 24 Hours of Le Mans. So they would have the rights to do whatever they will with the Le Mans license. And so I don't know if that license is exclusive or not. If it is, then Polyphony Digital probably couldn't add any cars to the game relative to the Le Mans series. Kunos, the developers of Assetto Corsa and Assetto Corsa Competizione, they have the SRO license, and they have the license for like the British GT series. Most notably, like the GT3 and GT4 cars, they have the license to that. I don't know if it's exclusive. And again, if that's exclusive, Polyphony Digital hands would be tied in terms of adding more Group 3 and Group 4 cars. What else do we have? iRacing, the developers of iRacing, they just formed a partnership with NASCAR, so now they have the exclusive rights as far as holding the Daytona 500. And so I don't know if Polyphony Digital would be able to add any NASCARs to the game. And then I think the GTE class. I think the GTE class is pretty much. I think it's part of the Le Mans series, because with the Le Mans series you have the hypercars. The LMP1, LMP2, GTE, and then I think you have GTEM, and I think the GTEM as a class, I think, is a little more closer to GT3. The GTE class is more or less basically the cars look identical to GT3 cars, but they have a little more power. And that could be one reason, in my opinion, why we, as far as the race cars goes, why we have not seen a GTE version of the Corvette. That car is, I do believe that car is on Automobilista 2, and I think it's probably on I know it's on R Factor 2 because I've seen it. I'm not sure if it's on iRacing or not. So the other part of it is it could be Polyphony Digital not wanting to pay to have these cars put on here. So I really don't know. But yeah, I do think that I think it couldn't hurt to add a couple of more cars to the game. Now, granted, I would probably say since GT7 came out, I think I can count on one hand how many race cars have been added to this game. One of them was a Toyota GRO10, the GRO10, and that is the hypercar that has been dominating Le Mans. I think that was a car they had to add because, with Toyota dominating Le Mans, I think it was a highly requested car. Also, the Ford GT that won the 2017 Le Mans, I think that was a highly requested car as well. So I think they added that due to popular demand. But I think other than that, the only other car that I recall offhand that we got was probably the AMG. I think we got a revised version of the AMG. And I think we got like a Subaru GT3 car. And I think that's about it. But we've gotten tons of road cars. And yeah, and that's in all these road cars, we're obviously the hardcore sim racers. We are not the target audience. So just a little food for thought. So when I have these kind of discussions, again, I'll be mentioning it in passing. I don't think it's worth setting aside an entire podcast talk about something that I think would only take 10 or 15 minutes. But let me know what you think in the comments. If you should happen to get this far, do you think Polyphony Digital needs to add more race cars to GT7? I personally think that when it comes to the hardcore sim racers, I think that what we got is what we're going to get. I don't think we're going to get too many more race cars on this game because I think when they first started showing announcement trailers and doing some of these deep dives and stuff like that, I think they told the hardcore sim racers what they wanted to hear, that there's going to be more realistic physics and dynamic weather and yada yada yada, even though we haven't really seen too much dynamic weather being utilized in this game. But I think that's what they targeted the hardcore sim racers on, was giving them some somewhat realistic physics, and just to keep them from going to another platform, to keep them from going to ACC or whatever. And that's it. I don't think we're going to get much more out of this game as far as hardcore sim racers go. But since the casuals that are car collectors are the target audience, I think they're going to get more and more cars for the next few years, however long this generation is. Because I do think that I do see this as a games as a service. I don't think we're going to see another GT franchise this generation. Just like with I think with GT Sport last generation, that's really the only game we got from the Gran Turismo franchise, and I think GT7 is the only thing we're going to get this generation. I don't think we'll see another Gran Turismo game until like the PS6 or something comes out. So that being said, I think for us hardcore sim racers, I think what we got is what we're going to get. We're probably not going to get much more than that, other than tracks, once in a while. But as far as cars goes, I think that's about it. As far as the dynamic weather goes, I personally feel like right out of the box, I'm not sure the PS5 has enough power to run this game, along with certain conditions. Like I definitely have not seen too many night races in the rain on this game, because that definitely takes up resources, and then you throw in VR on top of that, it definitely taxes the hardware, because those type of races definitely tax the shit out of PCs. So we don't, because of that, I think we just don't see that many night races in the rain on GT7. And I think what ultimately happens is, I think that whenever we have a daily race coming up where they finally do have a game, a race where it's raining, either the rain is light, or I get the impression that I think they move resources around, where I think they might downgrade part of the game in order to allocate resources towards using the dynamic weather. And then once that daily race is over, then they'll move those resources back to where they were. I just don't think the PS5 has enough power to handle all that stuff right out of the box. So I think they move these assets around with updates. So there's that. And so I think we'll jump into a daily race. Before we jump into a daily race, I do want to mention that sometime this week, I will do the new daily race of Low Fuel Motorsports. This week, they're at Zolder. That is a track I do like, and it is a track that I have gotten better at. And hopefully things will go better on that track than the week that we've been having, because it's been an absolute disastrous week for me for LFM. Also, I think I'll just toss in a quick podcast in passing, if you will, and give my thoughts on whether someone who wants to get into VR, whether they should go with the PSVR 2 or go with the Quest 3, because when PSVR 2 first came out, I think I could have gave you a definitive answer on which headset to go with, depending on what your needs were. But I think the Quest 3 has changed the game a little bit, and I think it's changed the way that I would recommend headsets depending on what your needs are. So when I do the Low Fuel Motorsports stream this week, I will start that off and just take 5 or 10 minutes to give my thoughts on PSVR 2 or Quest 3. So thanks for taking a few minutes to listen to that, and I think we can go ahead and get into a daily race. I'll do at least one, possibly two, and then from there, I think I'm going to have to jump on over to PC and practice on Zolder for the Low Fuel Motorsports race this week. So, once again, I'm going to go with Daily Race C over here. I love the Group 2 cars, but I think because GT3s are more popular than Group 2s, I tend to go with GT3 or Group 3s. But one thing that has gotten absolutely old on this game is that it seems like with the Group 3 daily races, they're always on hard tires. I mean, over the past couple of months, I could count on one hand how many daily races we've had with the Group 3 class where they're using racing softs. I mean, it's mostly hard tires, and maybe once in a while, you know, a medium tire. Now, that's gotten kind of old. And, I mean, the hard tires, it's a totally different race. You have to brake so much earlier. And I think when you've got people dive bombing and you got dirty racers, it's a recipe for disaster. I think when you're racing on soft tires, you can wait until the absolute last second to brake. So, So because of that, I'm going with the race C versus the race B. So let's hop on in. Select from garage. We're going to stay with the Acura. Let's go ahead and enter this. And I think I'm going to go ahead and just put the medium tires on here right from the get-go because I'm going to start the race out with medium tires. So basically, I'm just using this as practice for the race. So I'm not looking to set any kind of qualifying time. Oops, let me check one more thing. Okay. I had to make sure the wheel was all on the preset that I was looking for. I hated how it got me pointed towards this wall like this. A 1.5 second penalty, really? Oh, Christ. Aye. So today my time is 8th and I need to turn on the AC because I am already roasting. All right, let's go. Let's get my gloves on. We'll go about 6 laps on these mediums and finish out the race on the softs. Did I just get hit? No sense throwing a wild fit about it because this is just the nature of GT7. I mean, it wouldn't be GT7 if it was any dirty racing involved. And I got a 1-second penalty, my God. Yep. He touched me. There's that damn penalty. What a jerk. Ah! Ah! Damn! Oh, the damage. I got temporary damage on the car. I don't need to fight him. He's going to get caught by that penalty, not goes right through him. shit! I had to know that was going to happen, trying to dive underneath him like that. Christ. on, dude. I already had it out with you once. Okay, okay. Oh, for once we got a guy that races fair. Oh shit! Oh my god! Back into that car, touched the grass, and that was it. Oh boy. I will do one more race, and then after that I'm gonna move on over to ACC so I can get ready for that daily race. Oh, well, we will make sure to open that ticket before we leave so I can laugh at whatever ridiculous reward they give us. Go with the medium tires again, basically, so I can get acclimated with medium tires. Up this time I'm 7th. I still don't know what the purpose of the warm-up is when you don't even get a chance to go around the track. You'll probably get enough time to get out of the pits and do turn one, and then just like that, it's time to jump into the race. You know, I just don't even know why they even throw the warm-up in. Shit! Overshot my brake marker. Oh God! Go ahead, go, dude. Shit! That's how you feel? All right, I got the win. That's going to be huge. I haven't won a race in about 3 months, I think.
Well done, Lincoln. Great race win.
Thank you so much. I wasn't fast. I was just consistent. And I stayed away from the troublemakers. That's about it.
GG.
Thank you, thank you. The guy tried to bump me. When I tried to do the underneath at that hairpin turn, I had a feeling he was going to go wide, so I braked a little bit early so I could cut underneath him. And yeah, I mean, it felt like he tried to take me out. I will save that replay. I will savor that one because I had to work for it. Yes, sir. Man, I needed that in the worst way. So, wow. Actually, something I have not been able to say a lot about GT7 is I actually had fun today and yesterday with this particular daily race. I don't think I would have enjoyed race B, mainly because that race is on hard tires. And if you get knocked off the track in a 5-lap race, that is it. You are done. So let's go back. First, I want to see where my ranking is. Okay, so I'm on the verge of getting back to B. You see my driver rating right there. It's a C, and that meter is almost filled up. So I'm on the verge of getting back to the B class. So, hey, might have to start doing a few more of these races. Look at that credit spent on cars. I've spent 8.5 million credits on cars. I've spent 1.5 million on tuning cars, 31,000 on customization, but that's probably because of the menu telling you had to do it. Total distance driven, almost 9,000 miles.
He tried to break the draft by swerving all over the place. Cost him the win. Well done again.
Thank you so much. I was not going to follow him zigzagging like that. When people zigzag like that, I just keep in a straight line because, as the law of physics explains, the shortest distance is from point A to point B, or the straightest distance from point A to point B is a straight line as it goes. So let me see. Total credits acquired, 15.3 million credits, and I only have about 1.4 left in my name. Let's go and open that ticket, and then we'll wrap it up. All right, let's do it. That is bullshit. A 4-star roulette ticket, and what I get is an invitation to go buy a car. And let's see how much that car is going to cost.
The car needs an oil change.
Yeah, I'll take care of that, but I've got the funny feeling whatever the new race, the daily races are tomorrow, it probably won't involve the Group 2 cars because they just don't seem to have that many races for the Group 2 cars. And then like that Ray Brigg NSX, I don't use that car that much unless it's a track that has a lot of turns because I think the Lexus has a little bit more top end speed, but I think the Acura handles a little bit better. All right, let's have a look at this damn invitation. So, I get an invitation to buy this ugly ass Veyron, and it's a 2013 Veyron. Like these particular Bugattis, I thought they were ugly as fuck. I thought Bugattis were ugly cars altogether until they came out with this one. This is a slick looking Bugatti. I believe my cousin Floyd has the orange and black one. The only thing that separates that car from the production cars is the sponsorship stickers all over it. It does look like it has a rear diffuser in the back, though. Let's see here. Does this car have a diffuser on it? Yes, it does. All right. So, yeah, I got an invitation to buy a car from 2013 for $2 million. What a joke. I mean, that's like, this roulette system is a slap in the face. A 4-star ticket for an invitation to go buy a 10-year-old car. So, anyway, enough about that. Nonetheless, that daily race wasn't bad at all. And again, mainly, for the most part, I don't think people were all that dirty. There was a couple of dirty people in this race, but not like I normally see. And I made it a point to stay away from these guys going through chicanes and stuff because that's where I got wiped out at the previous race. So when I was headed for a chicane and I was right next to a car, I backed out of it and let him through, and I figured I'd get him somewhere else. So that ended up discretion is the better part of valor, as the saying goes. So, yeah, that was kind of fun. Now I'm going to go ahead and leave it right there, and we'll see what tomorrow's daily race consists of for GT7. And if it's a race to my liking, I will either do it tomorrow or Tuesday. Other than that, plan on me doing the daily race over on ACC. This week it's at Zolder. I don't know what the 45-minute race is. We'll have to take a look at it and see. If that's at Monza, then I'll do that as well. So that's the plan for this week. And also, once again, when I come back and do the ACC daily race, I'll give my thoughts on Quest 3 versus Quest 2. You know, which one should you buy if you're new to VR, if you already have a headset, if you already have a PS5, etc., etc. So we will see you then. Until then, everybody have a good night. I know I will. I'm going to kick back and watch some YouTube, and we will see you on the next one. Until then, you all know the line. Wakanda forever. Long live the king, and deuces. Have a good night, everybody. We will see you soon.